Hello, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? We've got the American Rebellion channel, and it's 7 a.m. for him. That is some hardcore triggering, man. Thank you for joining us at 7 a.m. We got Mode in as well, and then all the other lurkers, which is cool because I've been told people have it on the if they're at work. You know, you can have music or whatever. Someone's sat there right now with little headphones on, just going. Trying to be cool. So thank you. It is good to have you. Let's jump straight into the shit and we'll do all the begging for money and subscribing stuff at the end. So quite a minor story this, but one that really interested me. So I don't know if you know Charlemagne the God. He does a show called Breakfast Club. I don't usually listen to it, but I saw this tweet here. I'm highly upset that you and your co-hosts don't believe that blind people can parent. That's pretty hardcore, isn't it? That's horrible. I'm highly upset that you would even think of using your powerful platform to spread such ableist nonsense. I'm also highly upset that you haven't issued an apology. Oh my god! And this is your fault, by the way. You people keep tagging me in things and sending me things. So pretty much all of yesterday, I was just getting triggered by fucking Twitter, and I've been doing really well staying off it. But pretty much the whole show today is Twitter. Now, here's what happened. You know, we got the accusation there, and it was seconded by a few people saying that blind people can't parent, which is obviously untrue. Of course blind people can parent. They might need a little bit more support here or there. You know, it might be very difficult if there's two blind people involved. But even if there was, you know, they'd need a little bit of help here and there, but they could physically do it. But that wasn't the question. I just listened to this morning. It was a good show, actually. It was not bad. They cut out the music and stuff for the podcast, and it was just a phone-in. And what happened was this girl, 20-year-old, identified as blind herself, phoned up saying she's struggling to get a job, which is shit, man. It's shit. It's a real shame. But then she mentioned babysitting, and everyone just sort of went, what? Like just the whole crew. I don't know who was there in the day. It could have been these guys you can see here. I don't know. But then the phone-in that they have, which is usually called Get It Off Your Chest, just became everyone phoning in, giving their opinion. And as it says in the title of the video, would you hire a blind babysitter? I mean, the obvious answer to that is no. Of course you wouldn't. Why I mean, like they said on the show, they've had a blind masseuse, they've had blind musicians. There's blind people who do all sorts of jobs with help, without help. You know, it's a disability, isn't it? And that disability means you are not capable of doing certain things. My girl's disabled. She gets a lot of help. She doesn't get PIP or any disability money or anything like that, but work are amazing. They've got her a special chair that like lifts her up. I don't know if it's arrived yet, but it's coming, so she can just shuffle into it, sit down, and it'll give her proper support because it's a bat, you know, and it'll lift her up. That much, because that's the struggle for her because she's disabled. But you know what? That's okay, man. That's okay, because she's an engineer. She can still work with her hands. And the way it's worked, I know it sounds weird, doesn't it? But, like, her disability means she couldn't have raised it. She can't lift her up most days. She struggles to hold her. So leaving a baby, it was one of the reasons why I stayed at home, you know, because I'm physically capable of doing those things. That doesn't mean she isn't a parent, because she's a parent. She's a damn good mum, and her daughter loves her to bits. She works hard. She comes home. She makes sure she's fine. She's a wonderful mother. She can do it. But if I'm paying you money and the job, babysitting, the job is to watch my child, then how the fuck can you do that if you can't see? You can't. I'm not going to hire a guy with like hooks for hands to play piano at my wedding. You know, I'm sure the guy could do loads of other amazing things. You know, disabled people can do all sorts of stuff. But I'm not going to hire him to play piano at my wedding, am I? Ding, ding, doo, ding, ding, doo, ding, 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 ding. It's not going to happen, mate. I'm going to get someone with 10 fingers that can play like a god. Because it's my wedding day. Most important day of my life, outside of my daughter being born. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be a certain level. And if you want the hook guy, that's fine. That's on you. If you want the blind babysitter, that's on you. But you know what that 11-month-old is? That's the most precious thing in my life. You understand? It's like, and if I need someone to watch the most precious thing in my life, I'm going to hire someone that can see. Dude, don't get me wrong, right? There was a caller who phoned in and she said when she was 6 or 7, someone who was kind of a grandma, you know this, you've all got one. We've all got one, haven't we? We got uncles and aunties and grandmas that aren't actually blood relations or whatever. They're not even married. They're just people we know. You know, we've all got those people, man. And she said it was fine. She was totally blind, one leg missing. She looked after her at 6 or 7, and you know what? Good for you. Blind babysitters shouldn't be outlawed, but the other side to that is, if that was kind of your grandma, then you knew about a disability, didn't you? My 11-month-old, my 4-year-old, doesn't know. They don't understand. And check this out. 3 times now my daughter's been choking. Do you know what adults do when they choke? They go quiet. If you're coughing and spluttering, you got issues, man. That's bad, but you're going to get it up. When they go quiet, that's when there's problems. Serious problems. And it happens in the other room sometimes. Jesus Christ, I got good vision and I can't keep an eye on my daughter. This is not controversial, man. But I saw this big Twitter storm about it. Oh, well, it's the same as saying you wouldn't hire black people and it's discrimination and shit like that. Well, in that case, I'm never going to play for the NBA. And you know what? That's the same as racism. The fact that I'm short, the fact that I can't jump, the fact that I can't bounce a ball, none of that is relevant. You're just discriminated against me. I want to play, man. I want to get millions and millions a year. I want sponsorship and all that because I deserve it. Ignore the fact that I'm not capable of doing it. Jesus. Now, here's the thing, man. As I said in this tweet earlier, it got framed as blind people can't parent. Of course they can parent. Of course they could. And you know what? If I know blind people. And I would trust them. I got a relationship with them. If I got some stranger turning up and I'm paying them to take them to the park. Do you know how often my daughter tries to run into the water? How the frick are you going to stop that happening? How are you going to stop someone kidnapping my daughter? Sweet bloody Jesus. It's amazing though, isn't it, man? People get so woke that they just can't handle, like, we all have different capabilities. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be a Navy SEAL. I'm never going to be Gordon Ramsay. I love cooking, man. I've had good write-ups. I'm a good chef. I'm never going to be Gordon Ramsay. And you know what? If I then can't get hired by the Queen to cook some celebratory dinner for her, then that's not discrimination. I'm just not capable. You can say I would be capable if I brought Gordon Ramsay along with me to supervise and do the things I can't do. But that's not the same fucking thing. Because then you're paying me and Gordon Ramsay. And it's the same with a babysitter. I'm going to pay you and your support worker. I'm going to pay you and your C&I, whatever. I'll just pay the person that can fucking see. The job is literally watching. Literally watching. Anyway, Charlemagne's getting a lot of heat for this. He seems like a good guy. And he was very, very clear. It was an open phone in. All he did was ask the question. That's all he did. And he said, please, if you're positive on this, if you're a blind babysitter, if you would give your kids to a blind babysitter, then phone in. Please, change my mind. I'm open to it. The guy was totally reasonable, man. But it's not an unreasonable position to take. I'm sorry, but it's not. The job is literally watching. Watching. That's the job, dude. My girl's never going to be a firefighter. Sure, she could put out a fire, but she's never going to be a firefighter. They wouldn't. She tried to draw on the arm and they couldn't because of a disability. She tried. They said, no, it's not discrimination. It's capability. Discrimination is me saying, I don't serve your kind. Jesus Christ. How is this even a thing? How is this even a thing? I don't know. I can't do it. What about when your kid chokes? Anyway. Let's move on. And no, in fact, no. Before we do, let's see if there's any comments. Refresh. Paul said, afternoon, Graham, that flat cap ain't panned into stereotypes, is it? I got a weird relationship with this flat cap, man. Because, you know what? Growing up, I saw old pictures of Manchester and people wearing these. And it's kind of... And yeah, I worn one of these. We're talking 20 years now. Literally 20 years. Pretty much every day. Not just because... I mean, this is when I had long hair, full head of hair. It's not like a bald thing. Like, for me, on a personal level... It just gives me a weird connection with my past. I don't have a huge connection to my family for various reasons. There was a certain event in my life that just put like a big, like the ice wall in Game of Thrones. It's kind of like that. So it's my own personal thing, man. It's my way of connecting to the past or feeling like I'm connected to the past or whatever. And that's what it is. And people take the piss out of me and people go on. But you know what? I don't give a shit, man. You can mock me all you want. But it's not some like, it's almost like a grown-up safety blanket. It's just my connection to what I perceive as my personal past or whatever, And there's loads of things mixed in there. There's been working class. There's been from the north. There's just loads of stuff, man. And it is, it is what it is, isn't it? So, yeah. I just feel right. It's what it is. But carry on. If you want to take the bit. But, yeah, I'm not pandering to anyone. Ian has said 10 fingers. Is that a Manchester thing? Yeah, you want to give it a go, mate. It's awesome. And apparently someone had a problem. Hope you're refreshed. Hope everything's okay. The American Rebellion has said, judging how many kids are out of control, I think many sighted parents are blind. You know what? That's a reasonable statement. It is. Yeah, this I tell you this. I wouldn't have a blind babysitter. But you know what? I wouldn't have most, and I mean almost everyone on this planet that can see as a babysitter either. So there we go. Blind or not. No way. Nat! You are consistently amazing. Thank you so much. You've just sent us a super chat. You said, here you go for the Save a Beta Fund. You know what, right? He always goes on about that, doesn't he, Aidan? He's a big, soft, lovely blob of wonderful, and he's all coming on here like, oh, I do the big clouds and that. Oh, piss off. Norfolk, you grow 11 fingers. Well, then you're going to be even more productive than any of us. I'm going to hire someone from Norfolk to play piano at my wedding then, because you're going to be getting in there like, was it Hark? No, it was Chico Marx, wasn't it? Chico. Do you remember that? The Marx Brothers? Very good. Very, very good. But Nat, thank you though. Thank you for your super chat. I do appreciate it. My daughter's in school now, so we are having awkward conversations in terms of the financials. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate the Patreons. I appreciate the PayPals as well. If you do send a PayPal though, I'm not going to get a notification for that because that goes to Hayden. And, I trust him. There's no, whatever there. There's not a thing. But I don't get a notification. So if you do send us a PayPal, brilliant. We get a higher cut or whatever. But I'm not going to know. So just let me know. And I'll be sure to send you a little bit of love. But yeah, what do you think? Would you hire a blind babysitter? I mean, I don't think blind babysitters should be banned. I think if you want to hire a blind babysitter, that's good for you. You do it. And also, if your kid is like 7, 8, 9, if they're a teenager, yeah, what difference does it make? But a 1-year-old? A 1-year-old only knows you. If you're a seeing person, if it's a 1-year-old with a blind parent, they already know the drill. They know, they understand the cues. They've grown up with that. But eye contact is phenomenally important. If you don't make eye contact with your kids, they will grow up broken, completely broken. It's a vital thing. It's a really bad thing with what's it called, post. When mums get really depressed after birth. It's a really serious thing. They tell you if you've got what is it called? I can't remember anyway. Empty belly sadness. If you've got your empty belly sadness, a common thing is to not be able to look at your kid. There's just this weird thing, and then because you're sad, you don't get a connection. So there's guilt, which stops you looking at them. It's phenomenally traumatic for them. It's like wired into them that they need to see it. So if I got, but if you're going to grow up with a blind kid, there's going to be something there. There'll be some sort of balance, won't there? You'll get to know your mum in another way. Because there's always a way, isn't there? It's good to have a mum and dad, but that doesn't mean that two dads can't work or two mums. Of course they can. Of course. So could blindness. Of course, man. We shouldn't reduce things. Get the fuck out of here, though. What are you talking about? It's the same as an Uber driver. I'm going to get a blind Uber driver. I turn up, the guy's just blind, like that. Hey! I'm like, no, I'm not getting any booty. What are you talking? What the? I'd phone the police, man. I'd take the keys off the dude and phone the police. Get out of the car. What are you doing? And it's the same thing. Final word on this. You are literally paying people to watch. You're paying someone to look. That's the job. The looking is the job. That's the job. Jesus Christ. Anyway, you guys have been triggering the crap out of me. I get so many private messages at the moment. I'm sorry I don't keep up with my DMs very well. And you're all just openly tagging me on stuff. Let's kill that, though. So here's Agent 47. Let's have a look at this one. I briefly watched this. But, hey, look at that, though. Hey. Agent 47, you know how to tickle my thing there, don't you? Iron Mike there. Julia, Mama Julia. He's put me between them two. Do you know, that's enough of a story for me. He's gone, yep, I'm going to tag Iron Mike. Then Graham. Then Mama Julia. That's touched me, that. Those two are phenomenal. I'm really glad that you put me on the same list with them. Honestly, really made my day, that.
Truth about the European Defence Union.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, this is the House of Lords. So, we elect MPs. There are people that we vote for, and they go and they represent each area. There's one per area. Obviously, in Manchester, we've got quite a lot, high population, so there's all different boroughs. You all know that. That's how it works. The House of Lords is different. They're sort of appointed. There's been various ways, various issues with it. But they're supposed to be a sort of like the wisdom, you know, the voice of reason, the voice of experience. And whenever we put something through the House of Commons, which is us, we're the Commons, we're what's represented there, it then goes to the Lords. It's a bit archaic, needs reform, I totally agree. Checks and balances, but you know, it is what it is right now. And it has worked quite well up until Brexit. Because they don't challenge, you know, we've got an unwritten constitution here, which is a huge mistake. And as part of the unwritten constitution, the House of Lords generally doesn't challenge or stop things that have gone through the Commons. It's understood that what the Commons does is the will of the people, you know? What the House of Lords will do is amendments. They'll go, oh, but what about the word in here, you know, and things like that. That's the kind of check it usually is, but not at the moment. Not with Brexit. Everything's getting out of hand. Oh, dude, I didn't put the tweet up, did I? In fact, let me show you that. Let me show you Agent 47 first before we carry on. Look, Iron Mike, Graham Booth, Mama Julia. Made me very happy with that. So let's check this out. Play! There we go.
Please tell us the truth about the European Defence Union. This is by far the biggest issue facing the British public, and they know nothing about.
So, European Defence Union, some of it's been denied. It didn't even exist for a while. No! 2016, when we had Brexit debates, it was laughed at as a conspiracy theory. Now it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Officially. How much of a thing, we're not sure yet.
About it officially. Can we please have a proper account of what it entails? Is it really true that the government has entered into private agreements with the European community, that they will, on completion of Remain, or whatever it is to be, transfer to the European Union in Brussels the entire control of our entire fighting forces, including all their equipment?
See, he's getting laughed at there. And it's because he's worded it really badly. Really, really badly. I know that's some people's perspective, and there has been some evidence for that. It's probably tagged here somewhere, the guys that are doing it all. I can't find them, I don't know. But he shouldn't have said entire, because that's a nonsense. Because you can fact check that and go, that's a false statement. Of course you can. Because it would never ever be the entirety of our armed forces. There'd be local defence, there'd be the Queen's Guard or whatever. There'd always be something, you know, our special forces and all that stuff. There's always going to be something that we'd keep. So he's worded it poorly there. And this is a serious issue. The thing about the European army, there's a lot of good to be said about it. Yeah, we can pool our resources in terms of training, which is something we already do. We have the UK has troops permanently in Germany at the moment, and a few other places I can't remember, but I know Germany is just a permanent. They're always there. We can pool training, we can pool resources. You know, factories that make things. Suddenly, we only need one. But who gets to keep the factory though? That's where the issue of the EU comes in, isn't it? Because they become kingmakers then, don't they? And they'll just destroy several towns and keep one, and they'll thrive. And you know, that's not so good, maybe. But the issue with the EU army isn't necessarily all that. It is the phenomenal power of it. We already have a commission that does all of its decisions behind closed doors. You know, all the policy of the EU is done behind closed doors, and MEPs are just rubber stampers. They hammer on about the veto and all that, but even that's destroying now. It's going, it's going faster and faster. Now, whether or not we give the entirety of our control to the EU, or just most of it, or some of it, or however they want to justify it, you always have to consider the worst possible person being in control of it. Because it might not be next year, it might not be 10 years, it might not be for 100 years, but it will happen. It will always happen. The worst possible person that you could imagine is going to be in control of that power. And the EU army, I mean, dude, the EU countries, we attend wars separately. We have disagreements. We go, France doesn't. Us and France go, Germany doesn't. This happens, man. This is a thing. They are getting rid of the veto. They are going for majority rule. They're going for 2/3. It's already a thing for a lot of stuff. This myth of like, well, we can just veto. And how do you veto in times of war? We're looking at Star Wars prequel, aren't we? Oh, well, this is an emergency. We're going to have to take the powers. This is an emergency. And what happens when there's no weapons of mass destruction? What happens when there's no chemical weapons? And we've just obliterated somewhere, you know, people from the UK have gone and died on the someone from Germany making a decision. That's just some scary stuff, man. If we're going to send soldiers to die, if we're going to send armed people to go and die places, the decision is a horrific one. And the best we can possibly hope to do is have that decision made by somebody that we have voted in. That's, you know, it's still bad. War is shit, man. But that's what we need, isn't it, really? That's the best we can do. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean we can't cooperate. That doesn't mean we can't have NATO. We can have all those things. But sweet Jesus, man, this constant talk of a European army, it's, I don't know, it scares the shit out of me. Alan would hire a blind security guard. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think about that European army. James of Blackleaf, he worded it badly. Listen, let's just, before we move on.
Or whatever it is to be, transfer to the European Union in Brussels the entire control of our entire fighting forces, including all their equipment.
They're just laughing at him. They're laughing at him.
You may jest, my lords, but it has been done and you must check it out. It is too important to ignore. We must know the truth of this. We must have it clear for the whole public to know.
And he's right. It must be clear. This is a phenomenally serious thing. And in just 3 years, it's gone from being laughed at as a conspiracy theory to, yes, it is, but it's just cooperation. You know, what's really going on behind closed doors? None of us know. None of us ever know. So thanks, Agent 47, for that. That did trigger me a little bit when I watched the full thing. And it continues. Here's another one. The whole show's Twitter today, by the way. So I've said here there's a debate to be had, and this is about gun control, gun rights. But you have to deal with reality. There are mass shootings in other countries. There was one. I had to get rid of that for space. There was one in Moss Side near me last year. 12 people got shot. 10 people went to hospital. 2 of which were children. 1 of which was over 50 or 50. I don't know, but it was horrible. 12 people got shot with shotguns, or with a shotgun. Mass shooting just over there. Year before, I mean, this isn't a mass shooting, but a dude blew up 22 people, including a lot of kids, and he was from just over there. So, you know, you want to have a conversation about crime, death, and mass murder, then let's be fair. And I'm replying to Claire, probably a nice person, but Twitter isn't a good place for this stuff. Look, sweetie, why does every other first world country not have mass shootings? They do. That's what I was replying to. They do. I had one just over there last year. And, you know, you want to draw a line around mass shootings? It's crazy people doing it, isn't it? It's really weird, isn't it, how you always say incels? You know, oh, I bet he was an incel. It's like, well, do you think if they were getting relentless, amazing sex, they'd be off doing that? What the fuck? They're sitting there just going, I'm going to ride you like a bike, baby. I'm going to do you after school like some homework. This is Robert! What are you doing, Robert? Tagging me in all this? Getting me all these nonsense stats that they're doing? School shootings. Explain this! Explain this! That's a nonsense statistic. Plus, all countries measure this. School shootings don't have a standard international metric, you know, a measurement metric. So, you know, like with poverty, it's related. Poverty is measured in a stupid way. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like the bottom 40% in terms of compared to average earnings. So it's a weird thing with poverty statistics. They almost never go down because it's always a relative number. It's just ridiculous. So people get richer and richer and they're constantly going, there's still 2 million people in poverty. And it's like, yeah, because you're just talking about you're just getting the bottom 40% and counting them. And it's always about the same. It's really weird. So, you know, school shootings, CNN, fake news. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I get tagged in this shite constantly, don't I? Hangills killed. Yeah, but how much knife crime did we have, love? And what's the difference in population? I mean, how many knife... Oh, I don't even want to go into that. And a load of them are... Oh, he's got it here. It's suicides. But yeah, you all keep doing it, and I do notice. Although with Robert, wasn't there a thing? Was there a thing? There was, wasn't there? Oh, there we go. There we go. Robert, let's get on to the second thing you asked me about, because you sent me a huge butt ton of stuff. Graham! Have you ever had to use a weapon to save your life? Oh, this is a reply to that I just had up, yeah. I have, and if I didn't have that gun, I would be here talking to you, trying to defend something to someone who's never owned or possessed a firearm. Well, here's the thing, man. You don't have to have owned or possessed a firearm or had to use one in self-defense before. I have fired a gun before. I've fired several different guns in several different places, but I've never had to use one in self-defense, thankfully. But I don't have to have matched any of these three things to understand the concepts, you know? I mean, I get that thing of like, you know, sometimes it helps, but I understand completely. And I'll tell you why I understand completely. My grandma, in the family home I remember going to as like my earliest memories, 4, 5, 6, I don't know. Lived there with her granddad all her life, brought up my mother, her sisters and brother, all of them brought up in this house, huge big house. Not the best area, but not a horrible area. My granddad died. The whole family moved away. She was on her own. My cousin is a police officer. He's a good one as well. He's a good officer. He's a good guy. Big respect to him. He keeps an ear out for her area. Now, and his first response, by the way, I don't know what it's called officially or whatever. He drives around in a buggy. If there's a thing, he's the one that turns around and goes straight there. You know, he's in one of the big things. He's a big guy. They're there to break heads if need be and all the rest of it. Now, even with my cousin keeping his ears out for her, even though my cousin is a police officer and he's going to have a natural bias to go and look after our grandmother, people broke into her house over and over again, relentlessly. Now, all she could do was just kick the floor, basically. She's upstairs in the bedroom. I think she had to go downstairs eventually because, you know, you get old, don't you, and all the rest of it. But she had to endure being robbed over and over and not be able to do anything about it. Because what was she going to do? She's an old lady. They're just mocking her. They're just coming in like that. And, you know, so for me, I remember because I was a kid, and I don't live anywhere near him. I'm very disconnected. I just heard about this from my mum. But even though she could phone the police and has got someone blood related that loves her to bits right there. What are they going to do? They know the layout of the place. They just walk in, grab the TV, walk out. See ya. Not interested. Now, that to me is a perfect argument for gun rights. I think the thing that people leave off quite a bit in terms of guns is women in a big way, and not just old women, young women. You know, I mean, me, I could, you know, if someone's trying to rape me, I could beat them off. I could fight them off. You know, I've got a fighting chance with most fellas. They're not getting it up my butt. And they can try and put it in my mouth, but I'll bite it off. With a woman, it's different, isn't it? It is different, of course it is. And there's the argument there, not just my grandma, but all women, gun rights, of course. If I decide to rape, so it's really funny, isn't it? We talk about rape. There's no consistency with these arguments. We talk about rape culture and stuff, and in this country, you can own guns in this country. But even in the situation of someone breaking into your house, if you use that gun against them, you're potentially going down. You're potentially in the wrong because that gun was not bought for that reason. You are not allowed to buy a gun for self-defense in this country. You buy guns for sport. You buy guns for the shooting range, or, you know, what's it called where they throw the plates up and you shoot them or whatever. Or obviously animals, pest control. But you do not buy a gun for self-defense in this country. And I think that is a fundamental mistake, especially as we are now cracking down seriously on knives. There's no way. Although I wouldn't expect my grandma to stab someone. But she might have a shotgun with some buckshot in it or whatever. Some pellets, you know, not necessarily a big bloody, you know, big slug that's going to take someone's head off, but just something that's going to ruin him. Get him out of there. Why not? Why the hell not? You know, so what? So a few people go psycho and do things. Well, the guy killed 22 kids over there in Manchester, 2017. Another guy shot up a load of people in Moss Side over there. It's just not stopped anything. People are getting stabbed every single day. People are driving vans into stuff. And what about this shit with people getting robbed? And they do it with impunity because they don't care. And we've just got to the point now where even the mention of self-defense in this country has you just like mocked and ridiculed and stuff. And it's really strange, isn't it? It's really strange that we just gave up that sort of self-sovereignty. We just gave up that thing of like to the government. Oh, mummy, government will look after us. Most of the times when you phone the police, they do not turn up. They just simply do not turn up at all. I've seen kids going around. I've got video of kids going around here, going to the windows, trying to get in. And I've phoned the police. They never showed up. They literally never came. I'm like, if you come now, you got them. So what do? Do we fund the police properly so they're on every corner? Or do we allow people to defend themselves? I think you should allow people to defend themselves. Does that mean any idiot should be able to just walk in? No. But that's already there. It already exists in America. It already exists in a lot of countries where there's gun laws. It already exists here. If I decide to buy a gun, I got to go talk to the police about it. They got to check me out. They got to literally interview me. Make sure I'm not like, you know, I'm not full of rage and all that. It's funny though in the UK when they say there's no guns here. I'm like, yeah, there is. There's a big gun shop just down the road here. Huge. It's got antlers and stuff in it. Wood. Everything's made of wood. And there's just guns everywhere. But people are ignorant, aren't they? People are ignorant and stupid. And they like being that way. In fact, I'm going to talk about the Popper's, you know, the paradox of intolerance. The whole that meme people share. Because I saw it again yesterday. And I was like, right, I need to go into this. Because I've actually read that book. And it is a phenomenal piece of work. And people keep going, you know, you've got to be intolerant with the intolerant. Otherwise, we'll get Nazis. And it's like, that's not what he said. In fact, Volume 2 of that book, which references the paradox of intolerance, is an argument against Karl Marx. It's slagging off. So all these people... Oh, no. That's for tomorrow, because we're running out of time. I'm already over time, aren't I? But that's my thought anyway, dude. I hope Robert, I hope that satisfies you. You know, I'm sorry I didn't go through your specifically through your questions, but we have guns here. We have armed police now. It's very, very common. I remember 10, 15 years ago it was still being debated, but you know, there's so many terrorist attacks now that it's just a thing now. I remember it being debated, but then they stopped debating and just did it anyway, and everyone went, okay. But I don't see why you shouldn't have a gun. No, God no. And even in America, Considering the population, considering the number of guns, the vast majority of people that own a firearm in America do so responsibly and safely. So when you've got these debates, you need to factor that in, and these people don't. They don't. They just go off their head. They blame. Oh, look at this fucking state here, Claire. Yeah, but last year handguns killed. So why are you trying to block ARs? Armor-lights? You're trying to block Armor-lights when, yeah, you're right, handguns, whatever. And again, it's funny, isn't it, with the mass shootings thing? Because they'll talk about the mass shooting stats, but the only ones they talk about are the guys that were quite white, and it was quite vague why they did it. That guy that just cited environmentalism, they didn't get talked about, did they? In Chicago. I tell you what, I watch Steven Crowder sometimes. I usually catch the beginning of his show on a Thursday, but I can't watch too much of it. And he did watch Thursday's show. He did a really good bit, just the start where he was dancing like that whilst all the gun crimes that happened in like one weekend of Chicago. And he was like, I don't know. Anyway, check this out. Dude, I'm going to have to leave some of these other stories for later. In fact, I'll give you a quick preview for tomorrow's show then, because there's no way I'm going to get on all this. But we will do this, because Twitter has also been losing its mind about police putting this information out. Police advise about having an emergency bag prepared has folks worried. Does it? There you go. Personal toiletries, seasonal clothing, food and water. I learned the shit in the Scouts, man. Have this stuff ready. Be prepared. What's the problem? So the police have let us know, have they? There is another one. Thames Valley. First aid kit, batteries, tape, piss, a whistle, all the other stuff. Yeah, why not? Why the hell not? Hey, check this out. I got bubblegum. Now, obviously Twitter being the shithole of sophist, panicked, it's a constant fire, isn't it? It's a constant panic. This is crass, scaring people with no explanations. What emergencies do you envisage? Well, they don't, do they? That's the point. If they know it's going to if they know that specific river there is going to flood, that one there, then they get all the people from the houses either side and they take them somewhere where they provide water and food and blankets and a charger and medicine and all those things. But the emergencies do you envisage? You don't know, do you? That's the point. There's just been a massive hurricane that has completely twatted the Bahamas. Oh, I swore. Damn it, I'm trying not to. That's why they're sharing this. Because people are literally looting, robbing each other. There's militias forming. People are dying. There's people on boats right now. And as the boats are sailing to the island, they're cooking on the boats. Because people don't have any freaking food. So the police in the United States and the UK have gone, hey guys, be prepared. But Twitter, being the clusterfuck that it is, why are you promoting it? Do Police Scotland know something we don't? Sorry, I clicked on that by accident then. Obviously they do, don't they, Hillary? Obviously they do. They know that we live on planet Earth. That's it! Planet Earth! It's a dangerous place. Shit happens. Even in this sad sack of a country where we don't have anything really. Rains a bit and we're like, bloody hell, whatever the weather, eh? Whatever the weather. Stuff happens. You have problems. You have that bag. You get told to do it when your wife's pregnant. She could go into labour at any moment. Day one. Prep a bag. Straight away. I didn't really, to be honest. But there's reasons for that. Yeah. It's full week she was in labour for. A week of labour. They just sent us home. There was no emergency bag like, go, go, go. But you do that, man. You do that. It's called being responsible adult. These people are so... What? And I cannot stress this enough. The fuck? Like, oh, Jesus Christ. These freaks. These absolute freaks. The world is a bad place. Get over it. Oh, do you know what? I can't even go into Russia right now. I'll talk to Aidan about it tomorrow. Last thing before we go. Last thing. Because I thought this was amazing. Donald Trump is the troll president. He is the influencer president, and I hate that term, influencer. You know, you get Instagram influencers and all that, but that's what he is, man. You gotta check these tweets out. Like I said, I don't even follow this guy. Bollocks! I've had the wrong thing on, haven't I? You melting snowflakes. Yeah, little glob. And you know what? I didn't have the bloody thing on. So I don't know how long I've been full screen there. Oh, do you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to download the video, put it on. Oh, it's going to drive me mad. Or I might even have to just cut that story out. We're going to have to find out. We're going to have to bloody find out, aren't we? I'll see you later. But yeah, check this tweet out, right? Donald Trump. Don't follow him. See his tweets all the time. People share him constantly. When all the people pushing so hard for criminal justice reform were unable to come even close to getting it done, they came to me as a group and asked for my help. I got it done with a group of senators. Yeah, man, people were crossing the aisle. This was stunning. And this has been going on for months and months. Obama couldn't come close. Well, I don't know about that, but, you know, Obama was too busy drone striking civilians to bother with letting people out of prison, wasn't he? But a man named Van Jones and many other were profusely grateful. Who's Van Jones? Is that just some dude? Dad, CEO, Reform, CNN host. Oh, well, that's good. Well, that is good. Thank you. I signed it into law. No one else did, and the Republicans deserve much credit. Do you know what? They do. They do. The Clintons messed it up in the 90s. 3 strikes are out, mandatory minimums, all that other nonsense. They cocked it up, man. They really, really did. And don't get me wrong, you need law and order and all the rest of it, but they did. They cocked it up. And for all his faults and all his problems, Trump has been on this from pretty much day one. He's been working at an individual level to get people out and then passing into law acts that are getting people out. And not just out. Like early release for non-violence, early release for drug offences, especially with weed, if it's not, and not just that, but actual support into integrating them back in society. This cannot be credited enough. But obviously, everyone's talking about his Sharpie. So what does Donald Trump do? He brags about it. I know about this because I actually read the news. I don't just go, Orange Man bad. I've known about this legislation for ages. I've been following it, and it's a good thing he did. But Trump being Trump, he wants people to talk about this. And he knows that plenty of people, I saw the writer for the Bill and Ted movie just going, what's going on? He knows that people are going to hate him. He knows that people are going to slag him off for this. Yeah, because Trump, tweet number 3 was, guys like boring musician John Legend and his filthy-mouthed wife are talking now about how great it is. But I didn't see them around when we needed help getting it passed. Anchor Lester Holt of NBC doesn't even bring up the subject of President Trump or the Republicans when talking about the importance of the passage of the criminal justice reform. Now, they only talk about the minor players, people who had nothing to do with it, and the people that so desperately sought my help. Dude, Trump has been at the front of this. Loads of these people that got released have been personally invited to the White House and shook his hand. Obviously it's a photo moment, but it's all part of making sure this works, because you know what, the black grandma that's just been released early and she can spend the rest of her life with her grandkids, the Democrats, never Trump Republicans, they can't stand against that, man. He played a blinder here and he needed to. Prison shouldn't just be slavery, man, and it is in America. It's I love this. Your jealousy towards Obama is fabulous and constant. He lives rent-free in your head. B. Janine Morrison. You're wrong, man. I love it. Resistance. Oh, God, here we go. She's a feminist. And Remain and all that. Of course she is. Of course she is. Right. B. Janine, you're one of the people that he's played. This... John Legend and his filthy-mouthed wife is the reason that this is going to be in every single report for the rest of the day until he does another genius tweet like this tomorrow. You and other people who honestly can't see past the end of the noses that are just going to mock him and all that, and some of you know, but you still fall for it. What he's doing here is pushing forward the fact that he did get this criminal justice reform done, and he did, and a certain percentage of people are going to look it up and go, oh yeah, actually, he did do this. You know what? The man's an ass, but he did the right thing, and that's what he wants people to know. That's what he wants people to think. This dude is going to storm 2020. I know we're gonna do hopefully anyway. We've talked about doing an all-night special. Depending how November 2nd goes in terms of live event, maybe it could be people coming over. We'll have to see. I really want to do an all-nighter, man. And I want to be sat there like full MAGA. Like Trump t-shirt, Trump G-string, MAGA hat, everything. I might even get a new one. Because, I bought a MAGA hat to piss people off. It's gone missing since we moved. I think our missus has got rid of it. just put it in the bin pile as we moved. I'm wearing that because I did promise her not to wear it outside because obviously there's a lot of very hateful, racist left-wing people out there that will just straight up attack you for the clothes you wear, which is never something I thought I'd ever say. Really odd, that, isn't it? Really odd. That hat means genocide. Pepper spray. It's like, the fuck, man? I just want lower taxes. I just want my grandma out of prison. They actually attack black people who are wearing it. Dude, before we go, did you see that guy in Toronto at the Chick-fil-A? All those idiots lying down outside. This Asian dude, it's like East Asian dude, turns up with a MAGA hat on and that horrible woman, is it Ann Coulter t-shirt, and he's like, I just want chicken. I just thought, that's how you do it. If you're going to step over all the idiots, turn up as an ethnic minority with a MAGA hat on and I mean, she's really controversial, isn't she? That's how you do it, man. Are you available for an interview? Yes, I am. That's why I like. Oh man, no, it's great. It's great being a minority sometimes because you can really, really push buttons in a way that I'm not allowed because they're cognitive dissonance. They can go, oh, you're just white, so. Blah blah blah, you're fragile, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, all right, well, what you've done there is you've not engaged with anything I'm actually saying, and but if it's a black person, a disabled person especially, they're amazing because they're so high up the stack, they have to engage with it. Like our Crip Daddy and Ricky Berwick. I love those guys because they just talk like everyone talks. Because they're fucked to get away with it. I love it. Right, tomorrow I got James O'Brien. Basically, if we're going to apply the same standards, then this dude should be banned. This guy should be gone. Because this is worse than anything that InfoWars ever did. Worse. Do you think it's going to happen, though? I don't think it is it? Then we got this. I'm going to go into this. This has been my favourite photo, and it represents a lot, a hell of a lot at the moment. And yeah, I want to talk about this and how it compares to the Wall Street Bull, and then the fact that the police have been called in protesting pupils because they've done gender neutral uniform. They banned skirts basically. So that's tomorrow, plus whatever else happens, plus whatever we say when we go live with Hayden later on. American Rebellion has said thumbs up. Yes, you're right. Please give us a thumbs up. Please give us a share. Please drop a comment. If you watched live, come back to the video, drop a little comment below. I'd really appreciate it. Little Glob, good to have you. Thank you, Fat Belly, for joining us. Alan said, never mind rife crime. What about the amount of people getting battered with rolling pins, hammers as well? Yeah, that's a big one. I was only pulling your leg about the hat. Yeah, I know it. Paul wears a Yankees cap and you've no connection to that. Don't even like sport. Yeah, but it's iconic, isn't it? Mwah, mwah. Little Glob has said, oh look, Boris and BS. Hey, you know what? I've prepared something amazing for this. About the death of the Conservative Party. I've got some deep shit to say about this. I'm not just going to be mocking this man. Yeah? Boris and his bull. I got some amazing stuff. Make sure you're here at noon tomorrow because you want to hear this. I spent the weekend working on all these. I've got some perspectives. Just wait till you hear the tolerance bit, man. Oh, you're going to love it. Guys, have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Tell your friends if you would. I would appreciate it. Bye-bye.